One option pa rin para kay House Ways and Means Committee Chair Joey Salceda na political advisor ni Mayor Sara Duterte ang pagiging vice-presidente ng alkalde. Ano nga ba ang next move ng presidential daughter? Para pag-usapan yan, kasama po natin live via Zoom, Congressman Joey Salceda. Magandang tanghali and thank you again for joining us, Congressman Salceda.
I cannot refuse Cheryl Cosing.
Thank you. Marami pong salamat. Nagkausap na po ba kayo ni Mayor Sara after itong withdrawal nga ng COC niya sa pagka-alkalde at ano po ang next move niya? Tatakbo ba siyang Pangulo or Vice?
Hindi na kasi nag-chat kami simula 8:56 kahapon hanggang sa mabilis yung mga pangyayari kay Paste, sa kanya, tapos kay Bongo. So hindi ko na tinanong dahil alam ko naman ang kahihinat na nun.
Alam niyo na po ang kahihinatnan. Ano po yung kahihinatnan?
There's no logical conclusion to all this gyration except that she's running for president and there's no VP option for Sara.
Yan po ba ay planchado po ninyong dalawa ni Mayor Sara na non-VP option?
That is my interpretation. Kasi ganito, sabi ko, tatakbo ka ba ang presidente? Sabi, masalimuot kung Tapos, naku, mamamatay ako, pabiro, mamamatay ko pag di ka tumakbo. Wag, sabi niya, just hold my hands. At nung sinabi ko yung ibang mga kandidato, ay nako Joey, just focus on me. So the only way to interpret it is she's running for president, she's not running for vice president.
Okay. Paano po ang mangyayari nun? Kung yun po ang interpretation nyo na pagkapangulo, saan po siya magsa-substitute at under what party?
Kasi magulo pa ang PDP. Siya na mismo nagsabi sa akin yan. Kasi sabi ko sa kanya once, nako, biti na kami sa inyo, sa iyo ha. PN, basically NUP, NPC, PDP, ANP, bitin na kami sa iyo. Baka kayo lang sa PDP ang bitin. Yan ang pagkasagot niya. So obviously, she understands and recognizes that there are issues that have to be resolved by the COMELEC with respect to PDP. So that leaves lakas essentially for her.
So kaya po ba dito pumapasok na may mga balita po na magkikita po sina Mayor Sara and GMA this coming end of the week? Kasama daw po ang 90 kongresista sa Balisin. Kasama po ba kayo doon?
Wala akong imbitasyon.
Wala
Parang kasi naman kami, kilometro na ang chat namin. Ewan ko kung kailangan pa niya ang pagmumukha ko doon. We've been talking about it actually since May 2. I mean, kasi nung May 2, very clear na sa akin na tatakbo siyang presidente. Kaso, ang daming hurdles o komplikasyon na she would have filed on the very first day were it not for the complications that were actually needed to be, that shows that she was quite unyielding in unyielding firmness into purpose or her enlightened stubbornness to the goal of running for president on her own terms.
Sabi niyo,
Yes, ma'am.
Kung sabi niyo po ay since May no nag-uusap kayo, klaro sa inyo, alam niyo na talagang gusto niyang tumakbo sa pagkapangulo. Pero nag-file pa rin po siya ng kanyang certificate of candidacy sa pagka-mayor ng...
Tinanong niya ako, maganda ba yung Duterte? Sabi ko parang hindi maganda, ma'am. Sabi niya, hindi maganda yung Duterte. So ando na yung kagad. And then nagkaroon ng kung ano-ano pang permutations, di ba? So now, all those permutations have been clarified, as you might have seen yesterday. So it has cleared all the hurdles for her to run for president.
At yun po, ang sinasabi naman po ng isang malapit din na kaibigan po ni Mayor Sara na si Attorney Bruce Rivera, malabo na raw po siyang magpresidente. At pag daw po naman, tinatanong niya, ay hindi ako magpe-presidente. Yun daw po ang sagot sa kanya ni Mayor Sara. Pero
ganun ganun din naman ang sagot sa akin lagi niya. Pero sabi niya, bakit niya sasabihin niya ako, focus on me only. Kahapon lang yan. Just hold my hands. Why will I hold her hands if she's just Vice President? Why will I focus on her if she's just Vice President?
Okay.
So obviously, those things. So it is quite apparent to me na the answer to my chats. And she started the chat at 9 and she essentially sent me good morning and sabi ko nga, ang ganda mo dyan ah. Siyempre, tayo yan eh. Pabiro naman lagi. So it's a chat between friends and I provided her a lot of data and data analytics, big data, which essentially shows that she's not only winnable but she's gonna win.
Okay, meron po akong kopya nitong inyo pong memorandum na should it be Duterte Marcos or Marcos Duterte? At ito po ba ay nakita, nabasa niya na kasama po ba ito sa mga pinagbasihan niya para magdesisyon na mag-withdraw ng kanyang COC sa pagka-mayor at tumakbo sa national post?
Ang sagot niya sa akin, kasi matagal bago niya sinagot niyang pakabigay ko sa kanya yan, that I was commissioned essentially by the people in that Cebu meeting to look at that. So sabi ko, wala nang oras para gumawa ng national survey. So sabi niya, gumawa ka na lang ng extrapolation. So we look at all the prior elections plus of course the recent surveys. So pinadala ko yan based on 4 factors. One is the bailiwick or core, yung mga core voting population, Mindanao, Ilocos, and then the aversion, yung mababa ka talaga, hindi ka gusto ng tao, at saka transferability, kung ibig sabihin, kung tumakbo ka as president, vice president yung isa, madadala mo ba? At pangapat, yung national appeal. So lumalabas dyan na siya dapat ang tumakbong Pangulo.
At ano po ang...
I was given only 4 days to do that analysis, but I have a group of, how would you call that, 5 summa cum laudes essentially on and we've been doing this for her. Kung every time she wanted an answer to a nagging question, she would ask me to do this analysis.
And what was her reaction? Dahil po ang Congressman, ang inyo pong conclusion po dito ay it says that based on various measures, a Duterte Marcos would have a stronger chance of having both candidates win because one, Duterte voters are more likely to carry the running mate with their candidate on top. And then second, Duterte's solid areas account for a larger share of the national vote than Marcos solid areas. And okay, there's one more. There are more Marcos averse areas than Duterte averse areas, with the former being potentially more emphasized if a Marcos Duterte ticket were to be agreed upon. What was her reaction to your conclusion?
Oo nga pala kung nabasa ko yung analysis mo. Yan ang sagot niya.
And?
Sabi niya, nabasa daw niya.
And maliban po sa nabasa...
I would not jump to the conclusion that it was critical in her decision to run for president. But given this data, there's only one logical conclusion, that she should run for president.
Napabalita rin po, Kong, I don't know kung mayroon po kayong impormasyon, na sinasabi po kahapon na may mga tauhan daw po si BBM na nasa Davao City ngayon. Mayroon po ba kayong alam on this? Ano pong agenda? Dahil talagang ang nakikita pong lulutang ngayon na nung kanyang pag-withdraw ay it will be Marcos-Sara tandem.
I can in my heart of hearts that since May 2 she wanted to run for president. So, and the only thing that essentially prevented her was that there were all these complications. So she filed for mayor first. Now that these complications have been clarified and cleared, so I would go back to the original predisposition of Sara Duterte to run for president.
Sabi nyo nga po, maraming komplikasyon. At isang nabanggit nyo kaninang komplikasyon ay hindi maganda yung Duterte tandem. Ano pa po yung mga ibang complications?
Sila lang mag-ama ang mag-explain. Ayoko.
Okay. Now also, I'm not sure kung napanood nyo po, mayroon ding naging emotional po si Senator Bongo sa isang pagtitipon. And parang nagpapahiwatig nga po that he might need to withdraw his candidacy for VP. What's your take on this?
Ang isa sa mga napag-usapan natin kahapon, why don't you just run? Two options. One, fill in the blanks. No BP. Two, multiple choice, just like the father had two vice presidents. And she did not answer that, but that was my that was my unsolicited suggestion to her. Because the presumption has always been that since May 2, she wanted to run for president. I don't know why people keep forgetting that in May 2, she had already strongly suggested that she will run for president.
Ano po ang nakikita nyong posibleng maging dahilan for her to step down sa VP level? May nakikita po ba kayong dahilan na, kasi you're 100% sure na tatakbuhin niyang posisyon ay bilang pagkapangulo? Ano po ang posibleng maging dahilan para bumaba siya at maging VP ni BBM?
Ang point dyan, you have to test it against the people's preferences. Nung nilagay nila si Sara sa sa pagiging vice president, akala ko shoe-in na si Senate President Soto, pero suddenly based sa kasi dalawa lang tinitingnan ko survey, Pulse Asia at SWS. May nawala agad si Soto. So, sa lakas niya, wala akong makita dahilan para hindi siya tumakbong presidente. So,
and even dun sa survey, sa pagkapangulo, ay makikita rin naman po talagang nangunguna rin po siya at medyo malaki po ang agwat niya sa pangalawa, which is si BBM po.
At saka and she's well prepared for it. And her agenda for the presidency is very clear. Alam mo, ako isang fiscalist, ibig sabihin na gusto ko malakas ang gobyerno. Yung kanya pong isang nakakaano talaga sa kanya, among highly urbanized cities, she has number 1 in terms of collection efficiency. 190% ang kanyang collection efficiency. Yung ibang syudad nakabase lang sa IRA. Tapos yung kanyang agriculture, yung kanyang science technology, yung kanyang education, which her social policy I think are exactly what we need in order to have a strong recovery.
Sabi nyo nga po ay 8:56 a.m., tama ba Kong? Yesterday, ang huli nyo pong exchanges ng messages?
Ay, hindi. Siya na una nag-good morning sa akin na
Kanina?
may mukha niya sa kahapon.
Kahapon. Opo.
Kilo-kilometro na yung aming yung aming pong exchanges. Basically, my job here is just to provide her data and data analytics. So, based on the data that I have, the only logical conclusion, both to the events of yesterday as well as based on the data that we have, is that she should run for president, that she will run for president.
Okay, we haven't heard from her, her political advisor. Ano po, wala pa po tayong opisyal na statement from Mayor Sara. Kayo po ay political advisor niya. Ang gusto niyo po bilang political advisor ay tumakbo siya sa pagkapangulo. Ilang porsyento po kayo naniniwala na pakikinggan po ninyo ang inyong advice sa kanya?
Whenever I give her a presentation material, she would even edit it. Itong gusto ko ilagay mo. So, hindi naman niya ini-edit yung sinasabi ko So, ibig sabihin yan, 100% sure ako tatakbo siyang pangulo.
Kailan po kaya natin maaasahan? Will she wait for until the 15th, last minute of substitution?
No, because she said before na she is not a last 2-minute candidate. And she would have proven that if in last May 2, when she said na she's really predisposed to run for president, kung wala yung mga nilagay na mga conditionalities, I think there is that enlightened stubbornness to purpose, to our goal, that she should run on her own terms. That's bringing us to this point where it may look not kumbaga sa ano, look like typical Duterte playbook, but I think sa pananaw ko walang logic para tumakbo siyang VP.
Alright. May impluwensya po ba sa desisyong ito si CGMA?
They've been friends, and yung alala nyo na halos 7 partido na, I think CGMA has been in the middle of it, and although I haven't talked to my former boss, I would say that she is in the middle of it. So, but I'm just making a conclusion. But kasi ang basis ko lang naman, Cheryl, yung chat naming dalawa eh. So, nung sinabi ko sa niya, ay naku, pag di ka tatakbo, mamamatay ako. Sabi niya, no, Joey, just hold my hands. And then sabi niya, wag ka na kasi ano pa, just focus on me. So, I mean, if you just use those 2 instructions from her na just hold my hands and focus on me, it's very clear to me that she's running for president.
Okay, would she have, mamimili po ba siya ng VP or may pag-uusap po ba kayo, or would you know kung siya naman ang manghihikayat kay BBM na maging VP na lamang niya?
Ako naniniwala na may paninindigan itong si Sara. So pipili po yan ng Vice President.
And senatorial slate po. Kompleto po kayang slate?
Hindi po yan magiging multiple choice, hindi po yan magiging fill in the blanks. Pipili po siya.
Sa pagkakaalam niyo po, ano po talaga ang gusto ng kanyang ama, ni Pangulong Duterte?
Ayoko na magsalita dyan kasi I'm not privy to the discussions kasi yung iba chismis eh, yung iba naman I'm not hindi ako direct witness to all those discussions between the father and the daughter, but all I have is really our chats. Ang sinasabi niya lagi sa akin, masilimuot ang kinalalagyan niya. Ngayon na yung masalimuot, pagkahapon, mga bandang 2:00, biglang wala na yata mga masalimuot. Then, nag-withdraw na siya, nag-withdraw si Baste, nag-withdraw si BG. So, sa pananaw ko, the hurdles have been cleared, and I think there's no stopping her from running for president of this country.
Pwede niyo po kaming bang bahagian ng kahit 1 or 2 hurdles na sinasabi niyo na naplansya po? Isa lang, Kong. Isa lang.
Ikaw nagsabi, di ba? Duterte.
Opo. Kanina pa yun eh. May isa pa. Baka meron pa diyang isa. Isa na lang.
Gusto niya siya pipili ng vice niya.
Okay. All right. That's very clear. I wish mas mahaba pa po ang oras natin. But thank you.
I wish I can screenshot my kilometric chats with her, so you will have a basis for why I am bakit ganun po kalakas ang aking pong paninindigan na tatakbo siya bilang Pangulo ng ating bansa.
Kahit hindi na lamang po kong screenshot, ipakita nyo na lang po sa screen. Pwede na po sa amin yun.
Ang dami.
Isang beses lang po.
Hanap nga ako dito yung pinaka-innocuous. Isa lang.
Isa lang?
Isa lang naman eh.
Opo.
Ewan ko magalit yun sa akin.
Mahal kayo noon. Hindi siya magagalit po sa inyo.
Ay, parang si Jemay, no?
Ayan.
Yan to. Yan. Dito nagsimula kahapon. Siya yan. Na 8:56. Sabi ko, gandola mo
Aha.
Siyempre, tayo yan. Tapos, run with no BP, fill in the blanks, ano, di na ako makapagtakbo ko, masalimot siya that way. Tapos, naku, mamamatay ko pag di ka tumakbo ako. You won't, just hold my hand. Eh, grabe siya, oh. So sabi niya, mag-focus ka nga lang sa akin eh. So, yan. Mabuti hindi nyo nababasa kasi may mga nakalagay na iba na hindi ko gusto mabasa ninyo.
Opo, pwede nyo naman pong i-screenshot na nga lamang po at i-send nyo na lang po sa amin.
Wag
Again,
na. Ayoko na mapagita kasi I always work really is to provide her with good data so she would make correct policies. And that has been my traditional role naman with GMA, with most presidents, is really to have data-driven, science-based policy making. So, yun lang naman talaga ang role ko kay Sara.
okay, huli na lamang po. Sabi nyo nga po, hindi siya pang last 2 minutes, ano? Hindi po maghihintay ng
Oo.
A15 si Mayor Sara. Kailan po maaasahan? Bukas or Biyernes po maaasahan ang substitution na mangyayari?
Definitely not on the 15. Before 15.
Hindi na po pwede ang linggo, siguro, no?
Ay, 15 this Monday, di ba?
Opo, opo.
So, definitely, linggo, baka. But definitely, she will not do that on the 15. Hindi yan yung midnight ng 15 na ano. No, I don't think so. She has made up her mind. The road has been cleared of the hurdles. So, I think there are no complications to her running for presidency of this country.
Ilan po bang hurdles or complications yun? Kasi
Ay, ang
naibahagi
dami.
nyo na po sa amin yung isa or dalawa.
Dalawa na. Ang dami, ma'am. Kasi pabalik-balik yung hurdles na yun eh. Nagkakaroon ng mga permutations eh. But essentially, the clear hurdle is that she has that unyielding firmness to a purpose of running on her own terms. Yun talaga yan. And it's an enlightened stubbornness to a goal, which is to run for president on her own terms.
So masasabi po ba natin na hindi na po ngayon makikialam sa kahit anong desisyon niya si Pangulong Duterte?
Tatay yun eh. So I wouldn't surmise. I make a guess. He is still president. I think a father will always try, of course, na manalo yung anak niya.
Marami
So
po.
pakikaalam yun, di ba? So in that sense, yes. Pero in the sense na yung choices niya, yung policies niya, if you read her Wikipedia, she's fierce and independent-minded. Yeah, you can count the number of times that she went against the policies of her own father.
So ngayon po ay siya na po ang mamimili ng sarili niyang VP. So ibig po
Yes.
sabihin na nung una ay ayaw po niyang maging VP si Senator Bongo?
Hindi sa ganun. Gusto niya siya ang mamili.
Alright. Sige, naubusan na po kami ng oras sa uulitin. But thank you so much for your time. Marami pong salamat, Congressman Joey Salceda.